Let's delve into the key activities. How the business model innovation canvas can be actually used to innovate in the key activities section. There are three key activities we carry out from the public sector perspective for open data program. The first being engaging with the stakeholder, the second being publishing the open data sets, and the third key activity we undertake is to make sure that the published data set is kept up to date with good quality. Let's look at how we engage with the stakeholder and what kind of activities we actually perform or undertake. The important aspect to consider in terms of stakeholder is understanding the stakeholders first, which we have seen and thoroughly covered in key partners. But make sure you understand the business needs. Unless we understand the business needs, we don't know what kind of activity we need to undertake. As you have seen, we need to maximize the reach of the open data program, which means we need to connect with all the solution providers out there. So which means we need to involve in a lot of engagement activities. It could be having one-on-one meetings or periodic meetings with all the stakeholders, vendors and solution providers, and ensure that all these activities strengthen the partnership with all the stakeholders. So that's predominantly important. More importantly, when you undertake these key activities, ensure that the stakeholders understand the impact of open data itself. So if you're doing any activity that does not have an impact with your stakeholders, then it is not worthwhile undertaking that. So ensure that all these activities are aligned with your open data vision and also with your strategy. The next main activity that any public sector agency would do is to maintain the open data portal, which is the data catalog for all your open data sets. So the key activity you can actually do here is, many of these open data portal are hosted by two major vendors. One is the Socrata platform and the other one is CCAN. You can actually engage with all the vendors who actually supply the open data portal to the public sector agency in terms of releasing new product features. I'll give you an example. If your open data portal does not have any kind of geospatial capabilities, then you should be talking to all these vendors, either Socrata or CCAN or all the developer communities out there, to build that feature for you so that you can enable that in your platform such that the end customers of yours, the stakeholders of yours, gets benefited most. The other example I can actually give you is accessibility, which is a main driver in many public sector agencies. Ensure that all these accessibility features are in the open data portal. The next key activity you should be doing in maintaining the open data portal is to ensure that you have enough and good documentation for all the open data sets that you publish. This documentation should cover metadata, data quality assessments, and more importantly, and what kind of business context that this data has been collected, and you can actually delve into what kind of legislation and business process are involved in collecting this and publishing this open data. That can be included in the documentation. That will help all your developers and the key partners who are actually using this data for a purpose. The third key activity you can actually do is ensure that all the service level agreement has been met with your stakeholders or your key partners. When I say service level agreement, make sure that the APIs are never down, make sure that the open data portal has 6-9 reliabilities and things like that. So ensuring a good service level agreement with your key partners strengthens your value proposition and it builds the trust with all your key partners. The most often mixed key activity in maintaining the open data portal is the user experience itself. Most of the open data portal does not have this modern intuitive look and feel of the portal, which deter your key partners in finding the right information at the right time. You need to go and do a lot of stakeholder engagement and retweak all the user experience of your open data portal such that it serves the purpose of all your key partners. Publishing the open data sets is the other activity a public sector agency would do. This includes preparing a standard data dictionary so that can be applied across your data sets. Streamline your internal business process such that publishing an open data set should not be a hard job for your employees. This includes various innovation you can actually do. You can automate the approval process of how the open data sets gets a sign off from a data custodian, a data owner, and to an executive or to a chief data officer. You can actually simplify that or automate that most of that approval process. That's one, using technologies, platform tools that you have inside your organization. The second main thing is, once that approval is done, building a data pipeline even can be automated, from accessing the database or any kind of systems where this data is housed and pulling the data and then making it available in the open data portal. That can be automated end to end. The final activity you should be doing along with your documentation is build a lot of use cases how this data can be used, because sometimes the purpose of which it's collected, the general public might not be aware of that. So if you build a lot of use cases, then they understand the purpose of this data collection, and it actually gives them a creative ways to actually use the data in a very different way. Ensuring the open data sets are high quality and even current is a big challenging task. Undertake a good activity in API management to ensure that if it's a high value data sets, you always keep it to the highest quality possible, and make sure that your key partners actually access the data via an API, which means you have to prioritize the API calls coming from your key partners compared to the rest of the key partners. So which means you need to have a dedicated API management to do that. If many of the apps are actually consuming your granular data, ensuring a high service level agreement means your key partners such as app developers are happy, which means your end customers who are actually using that apps are happy. So that's how the key activities are tied together. So if there is any problem with any of those, keeping with the SLAs and things like that, ensure that you have a good support channel. That's the key activity that's missing in many of the public sector agency. A good support channel means if they have any problems with the data sets or data dictionary, even if the data set is not updated, they should reach out and then raise a support ticket so that the public sector agencies can immediately attend to it and fix the problem of your key partners. The reason being, these directly impact your citizens on how they actually consume open data. Some of the strategic metrics in terms of your key activities is look at how much time it actually takes for getting an approval of your data sets since it started its process until it gets a sign off from your final authority. That could be a good strategic indicator. In the long run, it should be very, very minimal, because the time to value should be very, very less as you progress along, because it's a strategic initiative. Since you're engaging with a lot of key partners and with the other external agencies, ensure that you go and talk to your legal or compliance department and then prepare all the legal templates and MOUs. This will help you to quickly onboard any of the new partners and then get to the business very quickly. The third key strategic activity could be data publishing automation. You can actually automate a lot of this data pipelines using modern tools. The final one being the knowledge base for your open data customers. This can be internal or external. This could be just a knowledge base that containing all your open data artifacts, including your open data strategy, your open data business processes, any kind of approvals you've got for audit and compliance purposes. Build the knowledge base so that your internal employees can actually access that information. In terms of quickly some kind of a tactical wins for your open data program is, look, you have to publish the data sets. That's the key activity you have to do every day. Ensuring monitoring and then logging all the data pipelines to ensure that it ran at the particular frequency set as per your business requirement. Act on the customer feedback that you have received from your key partners. That's very, very important. And also liaise with all your vendors to ensure that the open data portal is getting the latest features that you asked for. There are a few sample metrics in ensuring that the key activities are carried out. The number of open data sets published, even though it's a rough number, it's good to track. What's the API the ratio of API downtime to your total uptime? It's an important metric to keep track of. And the number of API requests you receive per datasets. Of course, it varies between different datasets, but it's also a good indicator that your open data program is providing value to your key partners. And the portal uptime itself of your open data portal. I'll see you in the next video where I'll talk about the value proposition. Thank you.